Hey guys, Ryan here. I'm pretty much going to get straight into it, but the first thing I want to do is explain what I mean when I say I'm a top 500 player in the world. On the website sweats.gg, they rank people based on their sweat meter. And what this is it is a culmination of your total stats. It's your win percentage, your gulag win ratio, your kills, your damage per game, your KD, everything. It takes it all, it puts it together, and then it ranks people based on that. So that's more what I mean when I say I'm a top 500 player. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about is this. Long-term progress is the only progress. Don't worry about becoming the best player in the world. Worry about becoming the best player you can be. It is so easy to get caught up comparing yourself to other players and just wanting to be the absolute best. It's not going to happen overnight. You can't just play for 8 hours. You can't just watch one video and suddenly have all of this magic knowledge on how to just do all of these amazing things. It takes time to get good. The whole point of this first tip is to give you the how to get better. The second and third tip are going to be gameplay focused things. But this is about you. This is about the way you approach the game. You can have all of the knowledge in the world on how to get better, but that doesn't mean you're actually going to get better. One of the biggest tips I could give people is to just hop on and spend 1 or 2 games, 20-30 minutes in total, focusing on some super small thing. Whether that's your jump shot, whether that's your aim, whether it's sniping, just whatever. It can be position related, it can be movement, it can be aim based, but just spend 20-30 minutes focused on this small thing. All of these small things that you're going to learn, that you're going to implement into your game, they're going to add up. It's going to feel uncomfortable. Your first couple times you try and do a bunny hop in a fight, it's not going to feel good. You're not going to feel absolutely amazing at it. But if you practice it enough, if you give yourself the time to learn it and you build that muscle memory and you focus on the long term, you're going to find yourself just becoming better and better as a player. As long as you're okay with failing and you're okay with trying something you know you're probably not going to succeed at because you know one day you are going to succeed at it, then you are going to end up being a great Warzone player. The cheesy saying I always go back to is, Rome wasn't built in a day and neither were you. So now we're going to move on to the second section, and this is going to be master the fundamentals. This is where you need to start assessing yourself in a very honest way. Warzone is made up of 3 key skills: your positioning, your aim, and your movement. Those are the 3 core skills of Warzone. Those are the fundamentals I'm referring to. And this is where you need to be able to learn how to assess your own skills. When you play, you want to be able to lean and play into your strengths, but you also want to figure out how to address and fix your weaknesses. So if you're someone who has good positioning and you know how to rotate well and put yourself in a good position to win, then focus on that. Make sure you are making that a core strength. But also, when I talk about those 1 to 2 games when you're focused on getting better, make sure you're focused on being more aggressive. Try and push people more often. Work on your movement. Work on your aim. Work on your ability to win those close range gunfights that probably end up costing you games. Because you can position as well as you want, but if you don't have good aim and you don't have good movement, there's only so much you can do in reality. But that goes on the flip side. You can have insane movement, you can have insane aim, but if you're putting yourselves in terrible positions and you're surrounded by 3-4 squads, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how good your movement is, how good your aim is, you are not going to survive. And that is why Warzone is such an awesome game, because it requires being a very balanced player and being a very smart player while also being very skilled. That's why you need to give respect to all 3 of these fundamentals. If you don't have good movement, then do work on that. You don't need to have insane, crazy movement. You don't have to be like all of these sweaty people like myself. But you do want to be able to do core simple things like a jump shot, a drop shot. You just want to have that in your arsenal. It's the same thing with aiming and positioning. You just want to be a balanced player, and it's okay if you're not. Each of us are going to be stronger in different areas than others. But you need to be able to identify where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are and how to fix them and how to lean into your strengths. So going on from there, we're going to go into the third section, and this is going to be Warzone is a game of milliseconds, and you need to respect that. For so many people, they think it's the big things, when in reality, it really isn't. What so many of your wins and what so many of your games come down to are those 1 or 2 missed shots that you had. Sometimes it's going to be those 1 or 2 seconds you hesitated waiting on your rotation. It's going to be those half seconds that you didn't plate, that you didn't revive your teammates, and all of those things are going to add up. As I said before, this is a game of milliseconds. I'm going to give you a prime example. So many people will get shot, they're going to be behind cover, and then they'll wait about a second or two before they decide to plate. They're going to wait to see if they can hear their opponent pushing them before they decide to plate, and that is a massive mistake. Instantly getting into plating is one of the biggest things I can recommend, and this will apply throughout the entire game. That's what I want to stress. That is just an example, and you have to apply that to the rest of the game. When you pre-aim, when you make noise, so many people, they won't crouch walk into a situation, and people hearing you half a second earlier is going to oftentimes be the difference between you catching them by surprise and you just being caught out and being killed instantly. When you are pushing people, you have to be ready for them. You have to mentally prepare for where they might be. Don't just run in there and wait for your brain to react to them. Try and think of where they are going to be, so when you do see them there, you're just able to instantly react. All of these things will seriously add up, guys. I cannot stress it enough. So many people, they just focus on the big things. They think it's the big things like, oh, I need to be able to just hit the craziest snipes. Oh, I need to have amazing movement like Joel. No. Oftentimes, you just need to be able to position better. Stay close to cover so those milliseconds are eliminated. So you were spending less milliseconds getting shot at by your opponents, and now you're spending more milliseconds preparing for your opponents. You have more time to reload. You have more time to play. You have more time to think. That is the key. Just eliminate those milliseconds and you're going to find yourself having so much more success. The average Warzone gunfight will be over in less than a second. And that's why I stress this milliseconds thing, guys. Because you're going to die in less than a second all of the time. The average Warzone gun, if someone's not missing their shots, and you're talking about an Owen gun, a close range SMG, it's going to kill you in half a second. That is 500 milliseconds. And then you have to factor in your reaction time, ping, all of these things. And that's why you need to master the milliseconds and give yourself the biggest chance to win as possible. All of the things I talked about in this video, guys, they go hand in hand. You need to be able to focus on the long-term progression, but then you're able to identify what you need to focus on to progress. Yes, if you want to get better, it does take a lot of time and you shouldn't focus on the short term, but you have to even know what to do to improve. And that's the second part and the third part where they come in handy. Focus on the core fundamentals like your aim, focus on your positioning, focus on your movement. But then beyond that, focus on these little things. Focus on being faster. Focus on rotating quicker. Focus on finishing down people earlier with things like throwing knives rather than just shooting them. Focus on getting behind cover faster. Focus on plating. Focus on reviving earlier. I can go on and on and on. But the main thing is just focus on all three of these sections and how they work together. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making this video. I'm loving Warzone at the moment. I'm just loving the game. I'm loving Rebirth. I'm loving Caldera. And I cannot wait to get better at it. And I cannot wait for Warzone 2. I hope you guys, as I said before, enjoy this video. If you want to see more content like this, consider leaving a like or consider subscribing. But I just want to say thank you for watching it. It's been Ryan. I hope you had a good day. Peace.